All right. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone's feeling well. It is 6:33. It is September 24th. Just like that, September's going by. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to the 630 Club. I'm also the founder of Red Dog Mindset, where I've been trading for 30 years. I've been living a certain way and feeling pretty good about it. A lot of people trying to learn how to go about their morning, how to set up the day, how to get their mind right for the right decisions at the right time. So when things are moving around, they can execute with confidence. That's why I created Red Dog Mindset, because I've seen traders come and go. I've seen guys make millions and then 2 years later out of the business. I've seen a lot. Anyway, with that being said, um, people like, you've seen so much. What the hell's going on with this market? It doesn't go down. Every time it looks like maybe they're going to shake the tree up, it just rebuilds and goes. I'm like, well, I've seen a lot of markets. I've seen a lot of people, get caught in pain trades and lose money short. I've seen a lot of people fight trends and chase names and not be strategic. So that's why I try and get everyone as strategic as possible. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jim. Happy birthday. Today's not my birthday. My birthday was Sunday, but thank you. Kenneth Rosenberg, you turned 59 on September 14th. All right. So you're not 60 yet. Anyway, 59 is the new 49. That's what the sun and the ice barrel do for you. Takes 10 years off your life. Anyway, hopefully you're feeling pretty good. I know this morning I had a few hundred people do the 20 and 520 with me. Congrats to you. I had an oldie playlist. I'm putting in some of my PT back workout. For those of you who know me, I've done 2 Ironman, 10 marathons, Spartan races, and my left leg's a little numb. So I've been trying to see some PT, and I've been seeing some Asian type of individuals that are helping with some of their type of medicine and their acupressure, and it's really starting to work. So it's cool. So anyway, also some guys are asking about, Strong New York. So Strong New York is an event that's being hosted in New York all day on Saturday that I will be going to, and I'm part of the process. The friggin' guy is awesome. If you're in New York, New Jersey, and you want to see, some longevity, wellness, fitness, the strongest people in the country, it's going to be a fun place to go and learn. But anyway, with that being said, everybody wants to make a little bit of money, right, Joey A? You added to Wolf and Pony yesterday. I added to the Wolf and Pony yesterday too. So at least the market's giving you ways to sell into some strength and then buy a dip. Sell into strength, buy a dip, and then play great patterns and rotate through. So many people like, Red Dog, mega cap tech is so bad. I'm like, all right, certain parts of the year, certain names have been better than others. Leading into the last quarter, Meta and Microsoft were awesome. Then they were both sold into strength, not so awesome. Prior to that, when they were awesome, guess what was horrible? Tesla and Apple. And now those have been the chosen ones. In the last week or two, Amazon's just been weak. Can't be your focus. Where's the money been made? The money's been made in quantum names. The money's been made in drone names lately. The money's been made in in a lot in nuclear. And so as your job as a trader is to find the pattern and find where the money's going. And anyway, so today everyone's going to be talking about China. No, I can't do that. And a lot of it, guys like Redler, you had Baba, Baidu, JDP all on your power plays, and Baba, you don't have it anymore. I'm like, you're right. I don't have Baba anymore. I took a nice piece out of Baba and Baidu. You don't have to get the entire move as a trader. But anyway, before we get into that, the SPYs are up, 10 handles because of China being up. If you look here yesterday, took back all of, what was yesterday? Yesterday was Tuesday, took back all of Monday. So showed a little bit of weakness. But if you look, this is your 8-day moving average. Still very strong, above the 21-day. Strong markets are above the 21-day also. So we'll see what happens today. Do the SPYs open up and build, or does it get rejected right here? Like this would be one spot. If the bears want to create the H cell setup, you know what the H cell setup is? That's when you bounce, you could fade a little bit, and then it rolls over, then it breaks the prior low, and then heads down. Well, Today'll be the day that the bears have to do something. If we open up 10 handles and continue, the bears just have nothing. I got Baba stock since 89 bucks, so I'm just riding the wave. That's cool. That's your time frame. If you're an investor in Baba, that's different than being a trader in Baba. Let's go to Baba since that's what everyone's going to be talking about today. So, I started to really hyper focus on Baba here. Okay. There's a lot of ways you could have done it too. Right here was the first day I started buying Baba, and I put it on as a power play. And then you had the gap up, right? Some people say, hey, Red Dog, I'm just going to be long versus a huge gap, because when it holds that gap, that shows power. I talk about that all the time. I have so many different evergreen, educational videos on that. And then it's been just, look at that. It's been just trending above the 8-day moving average. This gap didn't get filled. That gap didn't get filled. So at least you're not shorted. No one I know is short Baba. If anything, people said it's getting a little toppy up here. They're selling strength. It's got to see the 8-day, so they're not long it, which is fine. It's one thing I say if you get out of something early, it doesn't mean it's a short. So this has been a really nice move. I feel like we took it all the way up to this area. I think that's when I was done with it, and that was a nice piece. Baidu also. Baidu, we got involved here, and then, this was your Red Dog reversal sell when it got above 138 and failed to hold it. And, it's not where exactly the action is today, but it's kind of, it's up and it filled this gap. So this clue, this sell to strength gave you a gap fill here. So now this gap is gone. All right. So anyway, what should you do with Baidu? Let's see. First of all, here's Baba. Baba's up 9%. All right. What's Baidu doing? Baidu is up 131.23. So it's probably right around here. This is 132.41. This is your gap pivot, 132.41. So let's put that in there. And this is how I frame trades. My job is to frame trades. Here's, if you went out short, you're probably in a little trouble. But again, if that's what you do, that's what you do. Anyway, let's just so some people like what I've been playing. I stayed with JD because I feel like it was the complacent trade. I made good money in Baba, good money in Baidu. I'm like, you know what? I've been trading this one pretty well. So, here we were buying the $33 calls, and then this move happened. So a lot of people like, how do you roll things up? So from here, we went to like the high of 34 and change. So I sold the 33 calls for like the double, and then into this pullback, I bought the 35s. And then into this move, which was a little bit of a Red Dog reversal, I got very small. And then into this move, I bought some back. So that's how I played. I'm going to make a little bit of money in my JD. But JD's not, it's not the place to be. JD's, it's up $1.30, up 4%, 34.27. It's just back to kind of where it came in from. So you had to almost buy it wrong or buy ugly. Some of my friends like to buy ugly. I don't like to buy ugly. I like to buy pretty. But sometimes buying ugly is fine. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, bull I'm in. But again, that's nothing. That's just a little snack. It's just started to get better. Bull I bought on Friday. Sometimes, you get a little bit of a move. It probably can continue. That's cool. Some guys are asking me about sectors. XLE. Has the XLE finally, showed enough relative strength where it'll give you a good trade besides a trade that you aren't looking for? Lately, the XLE, all it does is give you a trade when you're not looking. What does that mean? That means like I bought it down here and then it went. So now a lot of people have all eyes on the XLE. It's in this little channel here. And it would be nice if the XLE, could break above this 90-60 and fill this gap and maybe work towards here. I did buy some XLE. I've been actually making decent money in Oxy. But again, hasn't been great. Like the only thing that gets me, kind of looking at this thing like, holy cow, like something's got to give soon. Look at this big weekly cup and handle. Like I haven't been focused on energy at all. I've been making money in semis, making money in mega cap tech, this and that. But when you look here at the XLE, you look at the size of this cup and handle. Wow, this is something that institutions have been accumulating since 2014. So something's got to change here. Maybe something in here is going to start powering the grid and powering AI. But all I know is if you think that money's going to come here for the next 6 months, you can go out, you could buy like, $98 calls. You can go out and buy, $90 calls, and it looks pretty damn good. Like the XLE looks pretty good. Anyway, but that's just the sector analysis. Like maybe you want to call up your money manager and say, hey, Mr. Morgan Stanley guy, I have my pie chart and I know I have 10% in gold and I know I have 10% in in Bitcoin and I have some in bonds and in the S&P and I listen to Red Dog and put money in Asia the last 2 years. I've went overweight Asia in my reports the last 2 years. Maybe it's time to go overweight energy for the next year moving forward, which is more of a macro thing. Anyway, so let's go back to the micro because all of you guys want to make money today. Yes, today. That's what I want to do. I want to make money today too. The first Tesla, Tesla got a little wishy-washy, to be honest. I am still in options for the first time since this day. I'm not in the shares. This candle got me out of the shares yesterday. I did not go home short. Some guys are like, oh, Red Dog's getting out. I'm getting short. Doesn't mean get short. So why did I get out of my Tesla shares as an active trader? Well, it gapped up and we looked a little vulnerable. We went below a prior low. Doesn't mean I'm going to get away from it. I just got out of it. Not the biggest deal in the world. But again, this is your day to get in some size. This is your follow through. This is get small, rebuild. And now 444 is your high. So am I upset that I'm missing a $3 gap up in Tesla? Not really. It's not a big deal. Anyway, Apple could use a few days also. When's your money trade? The money trade is when it takes out areas. This was most people's money trade. Okay, first of all, this was my money trade from here to here. And then this was pretty good. Unfortunately, I missed this trade through 241. So anyway, Apple's only up by 30 cents today. It's down 16 cents. So Apple needs a little bit of time. Yes, we made a lot of money in the drone sector. A lot of money. Some guys made a lot of money in UMAC. The dip is probably buyable. This is where we said accumulated. Probably could buy a dip into here. Then made a decent amount of money in this RCAT. It also from here up. Now it's probably has to rebuild a little bit in there. ACHR just started to play a little catch up. It's a laggard. There's a lot of room here if it wants. The quantum names have been awesome. IONQ. Look at that move. Holy cow. Here is where we're hyper focused on it. So the question is, where's the money trade and where's the massage trade? That's what you have to figure out. NVIDIA and Baba, yes, we went over that. NVIDIA hurt a little bit yesterday. If you look overall at the actual pattern, it's not a big deal. You just had a big wide range bar. To me, I thought, hey, if this is going to have momentum and this is going to be awesome, it should hold 180. It didn't do it. So just probably means it needs more time. It is September 24th. We just got through Rosh Hashanah. If you celebrate the holiday, happy holidays to you. This is not supposed to be the best time in the market. So, they're not going to just let names just go nuts. Same way like crypto needs a little bit of a break. You could probably accumulate Bitcoin, Ethereum for a move through Thanksgiving, maybe go buy some longer term options. But I thought maybe it holds here and takes out 184.55. Not ready for that yet, but it's still holding pretty decent, right? Let this rebuild above 174-ish, and then at some point it'll take that out and be much better. The robotics sector has been awesome, Ken. Yes, I've made some decent money here. RR, we were in this. Actually, Tracy from my alpha team started buying RR here. I think I started buying it here, and I'm out of it for now. My objective was 520, and it got through there, and it was a great trade. Great trade. I'm kind of got a little stuck in this SCRV. It's fine. I do think that this trade is not over here. I'm going to continue to buy a little bit in here and for it to continue, but that's fine. Rare earth sector is up. Yes, I put the chart of MP up. So he's saying rare earth. So look at this chart of MP. This stock is not done. Probably goes a lot higher, but It's already gone a lot already. So little work above 72, and at some point this takes out 78 to 82 and continues. But again, yeah, rare earths are good. Nvidia is trading at 180 right now. That's cool. I wouldn't be buying it. BBAI has been awesome also. Yeah, BBAI. I have options. I have stock. But again, time and place. This is when I was buying BBAI in the $6 area. This is when I was buying it with the open house. Of those of you who did the open house last week, congratulations. A lot of you turned into Alpha Team members. That's awesome. Now this probably needs a little bit of time in here. Again, don't chase things. You got to buy it right. Every single day, I've given out so many different plays where everyone's making a lot of money at the 630 Club. Most people in the Alpha Team are the highs of the year. I'm at the highs of my year yesterday. Hopefully you are too. All right, so Ken keeps talking about this RZLZ. All right, I will put it up. RZLZ. RZLV. Sorry, RZLV. Okay, let's see. This is just had a move. I think they have something going on at 11 o'clock. Let me see what's it doing this morning. RZL. What do you say? RZLV. RZLV. It's up 13 cents. Okay, so Ken, if this thing is $10 by Friday, I'll get you your red dog sandwich on Thursday, like you said. But it's also had a pretty big move. So, this is when I would have said get involved. You're still waiting for me in Dubai. I'm going to come to Dubai, Johnny. Email me, scott at t3live.com, scott at t3live.com. My friends who I used to train in the Ukraine, I've been to the Ukraine 4 times to train hundreds of traders that trade the U.S. markets about fitness, about life, about routine, about process, because fucking Russian bastards invaded there 4 years ago. Sorry. I have a lot of Russian friends too, but they're not the ones who invaded. I haven't been able to go there, and their lives have been turned upside down and dispersed. Some of them are in Uzbekistan, their sister office. Some are in Dubai. The management's in Dubai, and they want me to go teach. So maybe I'll go. I'll see you in Dubai. Hey, what's up, Val? I love the Ukrainians. All they want to do is live their life, and friggin', I saw them 4 different times. I'm not gonna get into it, but anyway, yes, Pony. Pony has been one of my better trades. I gave this trade to the 630 Club, right here, and I look at that move right here. Who in the 630 Club played, Pony with me? Anyway, everyone in the Alpha Team did. Option, stock. This trade right here could have made your entire, September. This little name that nobody knew until Red Dog put it on their calendar, and I got it from some institutions. So anyway, probably needs a little bit of time. If I were a betting man, which I'm not, I don't bet. I don't hate casinos. I would think that this 2380 gets taken out. I would say between sometime and Thanksgiving, I've been saying this is going to go to 30 plus, and I still believe it, but probably needs a little bit of time up here. So don't get away from this. Sell some strength, buy a dip, sell some strength. I am going to stay with this one. Same way we stayed with NBIS. NBIS has been absolutely fantastic. Remember down here, people are like, oh my God, what's this name? Well, we made this move, and look at this. Probably needs a little bit of time, but last week, this was my money trade. Buying options and then playing it through 100, and now it just needs time. Again, you have money trades, and then there's massage trades. Depends where we're at. Right now, this market feels like there's a lot less money trades and a lot more, sell some strength, buy a dip. If it seems extended and not worth it, just get away from it so it doesn't give you a little bit of a leg sweep. Hayden Martin had Pony. Kenneth Rosenberg had 2 times ponies. Jesus. A lot of you guys like the double X, the triple X, quadruple X. Not me. I'm 53. It's not good. It's just not something I don't play those. Actually, I do. Sometimes I trade TSLL, which is a bunch of times Tesla. And look, I remember I drew this here for the buy, and I put that line out there where it can get to without even looking. And guess what? That's where it went to. Anyway, little ascending channel here. We'll see what happens if Tesla could hang around or not. Do I still have Rivian? I do have Rivian. Thanks for bringing it up, Bull Bear. I like it. It's not a barn burner. It's not going awesome, but not so bad. It didn't even pull in much when everything pulled in. Option stock, nice. That's how many good setups and how many things are moving that I didn't even talk about Rivian. And Rivian was a pretty decent trade. I know I missed APLD, which is fine. Maze, little curb store. I've seen it before. Look at the daily on Maze. Okay. MAZE. Ooh, Maze Therapeutics. You know, had a big gap that held, has a nice bull flag that's here. I don't know anything about this, but overall, nice new name. I guess came out in 2025. And yeah, looks good. Probably something that people should get to know. This looks like there's a lot of good action in there. Good job. Can I look at APO? Yeah. Apollo Management. Looks decent. You're not leading. You got your support right here, poking its head into there. I haven't really been playing the banks the way some other people have been, but it looks all right. Yeah, WRD has been pretty good. I still like the Wolf. The Wolf. You just have to be careful with your pricing. I've been in this for a while. Just as fun yesterday, I said, who's going to win? Pony to 30, Wolf to 14. And I'm still involved. And, it's just very choppy. Like here, I was buying a lot. I added. And then I've been kind of just trimming and buying. But I do think the Wolf, you want to keep things on a go-to list. You want to move them up and down. As crypto gets better, not now, in the next few weeks, you're going to want to be in this because this is probably going to take out 14 and be 1680. This is the weekly of Wolf. Looks good. My friends have been in IREN, from $20 they've been in, and it went to 40 plus. I've traded a few times. I'm not going to make it like I did so well there, but I've been pretty good in this name, and I think we're going to get right into there with the Wolf. The Wolf. What's up, Rick Friedman? Rick Friedman, good friend, really good guy in the market. It's been in and out of the Alpha team. He's back. Good to have him. Good morning, Red Dog. BKSY is a small cap satellite AI company. Take a look. I'll take a look. So it's the beauty of the 630 Club. You could get new ideas and share them. But just so everybody knows, the 630 Club is not going to be the 630 Club in the months moving forward. So if you're not part of the Alpha team, which does cost a lot of money, or rather all access, you got to grandfather into Red Dog Mindset. It's only $10. $10 a month. It's 40 cents a day. This cost me $5 today. $5. So $5 times 5 times 4 weeks. I'm saying $10 to have full, public Red Dog 630 Club, the spy chart, this and that. But anyway, if you don't, 630 Club and everything else. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Black Sky. Yeah, trending along. It's not really tight. There's no real setup, but it looks like something to put on the radar for the future. Wolf CEO interview on CNBC Monday. Thank you, Rod. So that's also the beauty of it. I didn't know that was going to happen. So here you go. Rod says the Wolf CEO will be interviewed on CNBC Monday. Worth a watch. I agree. So I think that's if we could hang here for a little while, maybe that turns into a little bit of a money trade. But anyway, somebody asked me what's the Red Dog mindset. Here, I'll show you something real quickly. So if you go here, so let's see, did I play anything from? Oh no, this is that feed. So by the way, I've already posted a lot of stuff. So by the way, here's the subscribe button. All you gotta do is subscribe. $10 a month, not a big deal. Where is? So basically, every day, a whole bunch of things part of the process. And in the sauna, in the ice barrel, talking markets, listening to playlists, getting the mind right, thinking about our week, thinking about what we got to do next. I've been doing this for 30 years, and the reason why I've been doing it for 30 years is because I take my morning and I win it. I get up early, I drink my water, I get my mind right, so I could then sit in my seat, listen to music, go through 40 charts, and execute with confidence. Got to burn off a bad day with fitness, or not let your eyes get too high with fitness, in my humble opinion. Anyway, this is the Red Dogs mindset. But we have also do what's called we can do a lot. But bottom line, I kind of am getting a little annoyed with just Twitter in general. Like every time I try and tweet and interact with the community, and every time I try and put stuff out there, like 50 bots attached to it, and I can't even see who wants to talk to me. This is BBAI, by the way. Nice trade, nice chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably at some point in the next 3 months, the only thing I'm going to post on is between Redler All Access and T3 stuff. I'm going to do that because that's a subscription model fully for trading and for those who trade for a living and this and that. But for the public Twitter, going to just go right through the subscriber base for $10 a month, and I'll probably go from 200 plus thousand subscribers to a small, but I don't care. At least it's a real community, not just a bunch of bots. HAL yesterday. You want to see? Energy names are pretty good. HAL, day one. I talk about day ones all the time. Look at that. That's a day one. Halliburton. This name used to be awesome back in the day when I was like 40 years old. Now I'm 53. Let's see if it can get awesome again. When I think of Halliburton, I also think of Schlumberger. Didn't quite do that yet. Wow, that's been horrible. I did buy some Oxy. Oxy's trying. It's trying. If the chart is not great, if for some reason it's just not doing anything, but if this were to get above 48.10, maybe it gets better. But Hal was a big day one yesterday. Some big call buys, Ken says. All right. Jay Powell speech thoughts. It's hard. The market's asking for 3 rate cuts, and we're screaming through all-time highs. Like, just that dynamics is tough. So he can't be like, yeah, the economy needs it, and the market's going nuts. So he has to thread the needle of risks and this and that, so he could cut and make everybody happy. Can I do take 2? I haven't looked at take 2 in a while. This will be my last thing. Oh, it's a nice chart. Very sloppy, but nice move. It's hanging up here. What is it? Do people play video games anymore? Anyway, looks fine. It doesn't look like there's a real setup up here, but looks decent. You have the $29 calls in Hal. That's good. Anyhow, so that's that. Let's see. Amazon, yeah. So someone's like, Red Dog, what the hell's the matter with Amazon? I was like, you know what? It happens. Came in, made a lower high. Market showed, was going to high, showed relative weakness. It looked as if it was wedging, and potentially it can go higher, and it broke the wedge to the downside. So technically, it really gave you no signals, except if you thought some kind of narrative change was coming, this and that. So it did take some money away. It wasn't my hyperfocus. Some people just trading Amazon. They're having a miserable 2 weeks. I think 11 for 12 in the last 2 weeks, made a lot of money, and that's while losing, a bunch of money here. So now Amazon's up a little. It's up 3. I'm not buying it here. If anything, we'll see. Does the early strength hold for the first time? Where could it go? It's a 224. This is what? This is 227. This would be, it'd be pretty impressive. If it could take this candle back, the whole candle, that would be a rebuild for Amazon. But we'll see. I know it got upgraded. I know it came out with some news with this AWS with SAP, but we'll see. I'm not hyper-focusing. I'm not buying it up 3.5. I'm just going to watch it and see, does it finally act a little bit better? That's our job, to judge relative strength, relative weakness. Our job is to follow our process, make sure it's clear. This is when Amazon broke the 8 and 21 day. We do not stay in names below the 8 and 21 day as active traders who trade for a living, because that means they're not special. That means they can go to the 50 and the 100 and the 200, right? In order to get to the 200 day, you got to break in the 8 and 21 day. But you don't have to get there if you break it. But if it does, that's a step. So you have to measure the steps to keep yourself safe and continue to work on your process to make money to get a paycheck. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I can't believe it's 7:01. Half an hour of me blabbering, and you guys stayed the whole time. It didn't. I'll see you tomorrow.